Hello Market Club members everywhere. Adam Hewison coming to you from the digital studios of Market Club. It's the 8th of April. It's Friday. It's the last trading day of the week, and we have some interesting markets. First of all, I'm going to start off with Yahoo. Yahoo has kind of like Verizon's trying to put together a bid to buy Yahoo. Kind of interesting. But the one thing I want to show you is the fact if I put our monthly trade triangles in, you can see we had a trade triangle come in on the 29th of March. That was 10 days before they announced the situation. So people know what's going on. The other thing I like about Yahoo right now is this. I'm going to put a drawing tool on and you'll see exactly the pattern I showed you several days ago, actually about 10 days ago. You can see we have what we call a pivot point right here, kind of a double bottom right here, and that's the point. So we're looking at this point right here, which is around $36 to the low, which is about $28. So that's a total of $8 difference from 36 to 28 rather. So it's $8. You add the $8 to 36, it comes up to 44, which takes you all the way back to these levels. So we're taking that as the target zone that Verizon is eventually going to have to pay if they want to buy Yahoo. Technically speaking, it looks very, very good. A little overbought, but no problem there. It's above the RSI. All the indicators, all the trade triangles are positive, and I think you can see that we're going to see this market higher in terms of, let's see. So let's move on. Okay, this is the Dow. You can see a couple things in the Dow you want to look at. One is you're below the parabolic, which is another signal, and also you are at these resistance levels. We've talked about this for some time now, this huge resistance level in the market right around here. Every time it's gotten to these levels, it's sort of backed down, had a pretty big break. You think from here to here, you can see that, and from here to here. I would not be surprised to see something very similar to that happening. We're also not only below the RSI, but we're lower for the week. And our trade triangles, while they're still positive, let's just update those trade triangles just to give you a weekly and a daily. So the daily's down, but that's not a big deal. But nonetheless, it is beginning to look a little heavy. So last time we went below the RSI at these levels, we had a significant break. So I would not be surprised to see something like that happen in the weeks, but it may take another week or so before that happens. Same thing with the S&P 500. You can see we're right up against resistance. You've gone below the parabolic, indicating a potential break. Nonetheless, it's not a totally confirmed break, and you want to be a little bit careful. It's very similar to when we had a monthly kick in right at the top here. You see the monthly kicked in here, and then we had this very choppy action, and then the break. I think we need to see some more choppy action to confirm that this could be a top. What's interesting with the NASDAQ, you actually have moved below the parabolic again. You also have a monthly that's still negative. So this is the weakest out of the three indices that we track. And you also have, obviously, would this be lower highs and lower lows? Not a good sign longer term. Let's see how that plays out. But generally speaking, look for more choppy action, and then we'll see this market roll over, I believe, and start moving lower. I might just add that all the indices are lower for the week also. So let's move on to gold. Again, gold is beginning to look very good. It's moved over the 50 line on the RSI. It's just moved over the parabolic, which we talked about a couple of days ago. It's been there 2 days now. And we're still waiting for our weekly trade triangle to move into a green mode, which would be a very positive sign, indicating a move to certainly the 1300 level in the very short term, and I think much higher longer term. I think this has the potential to go much, much higher. This is crude oil. You can see basically we are above the 50 line in the RSI. Let me get a closer picture of that. Let's just do a 3-month chart. So we're above the RSI. We have resistance coming in around between 40 and 42. I think that's going to probably hold the market for a while. The key there is going to be watching the weekly. If the weekly turns green, then it's a go. We use the weekly and the daily for trading crude oil. Weekly for trend, daily for timing. So we've already got, if you put the dailies in, you can see the daily kicked in pretty closely right here. We had the weekly came in at 37.71, the daily came in at 37.21, so it's a little small profit there, but nonetheless it has made the turn. We're waiting for the weekly to kick in, and next week should be a very interesting week in crude oil. So let's see how that plays out. But for the week, all the indices were lower, gold and crude oil were higher, and it looks like Verizon is going to buy Yahoo. I'm Adam Hewison for Market Club. Thanks for stopping by. Every success using our service. And remember, we have a social page. If you want to leave a comment or have a question for us, please leave it for us. We'll do our very best. We'll have the team do our very best to get back to you and answer that question. Have a great weekend, everyone, and thank you for stopping and watching this video.